Ladies and gentlemen, after a long break, we are back, and this is the Bama Standard, brought to you by Workspace Solutions and Oakmont Financial Partners, LLC. I'm your host, Justin Riley, and with me, as always, one of the greatest running backs to ever tote the rock, champion of leg day, Bo Scarbrough. What up, what up, what up? And the senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine and newly engaged Stephen M. Smith.
What's going on, man? Hey, I think we got a new sponsor. I think Bo drinking our new sponsor, Body Armor. Yeah, we just got Body Armor in here, man. So I think Bo drinking our new sponsor.
What's that Body Armor contract look like for us, man? What kind of money are they talking?
They talking coins,
Tell us
man.
something, Steve. Tell us something, Steve.
Hey. Now, what they told me was that they got this multi-year deal working with us. So the numbers, we look at them 5-figure numbers right now. And then once we really negotiate this thing for real, then that 6-digit gonna come in. Yes, we're talking 5 figures right now. 5.
I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I think that, well, I'll let you introduce our guest first. He's on time. His son is not. But Stephen M. Smith, if you would kindly introduce George Teague.
Man, let me tell you. So I'm officially an honorary Teagster, one of the greatest accomplishments of my young life, being an honorary Teagster. But this guy right here, this brother right here, man, brother, legend, bad man safety, bad man national champion, bad man Dallas Cowboy. Terrell Owens can still get them hands if he step on that star one more time. We got George the Hitman Teague, bad man in here. What's going on, Teague?
It's good seeing y'all. Good seeing y'all.
Good seeing you, man. Hey, I think you damaged T.O. so bad that you sent him straight to that fan control league. Have you seen any of that?
Man, what in the world is going on? I saw that he caught a pass from Johnny Manziel or somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the league was. I was trying to figure out exactly what that was, and I did look up the play, and he didn't look very happy, man. T.O. didn't look happy. It looked like he didn't even celebrate. I was expecting some kind of celebration, but I still don't understand that league. I know I'm not going to join it regardless. They can't be paying They can't be paying more than $2.50 a minute.
$2.50. Oh, man.
Was that more than the NIL deal you got at Bama?
Hold on. Now that's less than the McDouble. The McDonald's
Bro, you're not getting no Taco Bell. You ain't getting no Taco Tuesday, nothing today.
Man.
I'm just saying. But whatever. I think it's okay to be able to, continue to play, chase your dreams, and do that.
Yeah.
That's good. But when you've made it to the level that he's been at, I'm not sure that you need to continue playing there or for whatever they're doing. I don't think he needs to do that. That's just me. Y'all ain't asked me, but that's just
no. So you're saying that he is the Ric Flair of football? Just won't. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Speaking of chasing dreams, I was about to bring this up before you came on, George. Over the weekend, our own Stephen M. Smith didn't even tell us that he was doing this. Say a word. We had to find out through Facebook. Went and got himself engaged.
I'm kind of upset on that because I felt like we were starting to build a relationship a little bit.
Well, okay. So
I'm talking right now.
He's the guest.
You let me finish. I'm just saying. I thought we was building a little relationship where, I'm coming on this show, he coming on mine, he getting to know my son and all this. And I figured, because now he does have my number. He was kind of messing around with that, saying he didn't know how to text me or whatnot. I thought I could get a little something like, hey, man, I just got, tied a knot, anything, engaged, something, just something. I'm thinking about it.
Tagged you in a post?
I know, man. Something. I know all his what do you call them? Those weird names he has, because he, for whatever reason, he don't use the same name on Twitter and Instagram. They're like totally different. So he's trying to hide on one of them. I don't know which one.
Dang, Steve.
Dang.
Did you tell her about that? Did you tell her what Universal 9019?
So I think so that name right there, I was just up randomly, tired one night, and just started throwing some stuff together, and that's what that became on Instagram. And I just never changed it.
It also.
What that mean?
It also doubles as his Tinder profile name, which I
I
assume is shut down now. It's shut down now.
I never had a Tinder.
Tinderoni. That's what it is.
That's it. Well, our other guest, judging by the sound in the waiting room, is here. Stephen M. Smith, if you give him a proper introduction as well.
Well, this is the son here of the legend, but he's a legend in his own right. He enjoys taking shots at me from time to time, but I enjoy the shots he takes at me. We have the analytical one in the room, JT the Tizzle, James JT Teague is in here.
Thanks for having me.
Was fighting Dallas traffic and everything to get to us, sacrificing his life. I appreciate the dedication, brother.
Hey, no problem. Anything for you, Justin.
Well, before we get into all of our topics, Stephen M. Smith, we just talked a little bit about you being engaged, which you didn't tell George or me or JT or Bo, and we'll move past that. But if you would, tell us how the proposal went down and the little event you weren't expecting that happened.
Yeah,
so first off, she wanted to be kind of low key, but it didn't end up being that way because her mom actually spilled the beans on the whole situation. But what happened was, so we're at this park in Meridian, Mississippi. I'm in khaki pants. I will never do this again. But I'm getting down on one knee here in khaki pants, and the moment my knee touches the grass, I hear a rip in my pants. I'm like, man. On the one day, I wanted everything to go right. My pants were ripped. So I'm sitting here, pop the ring out. She all, oh my goodness. So she says yes. The family come out. They high-fiving and clapping and hugging. I'm still self-conscious about my pants. And she looks at me like, baby, nobody care about your pants. They don't even see that. That's the smallest hole I've ever seen. Nobody care about your pants. So I'm just sitting here like, really now. Nobody care about your pants. But the funniest part was actually my younger sister. So she got some of the pictures, and she looked at one in particular, and she said, Steve, I thought Beyonce was the queen of butt. I didn't know my brother had a butt poking out there like that. And your butt sitting up right in your khaki pants, man. What you doing? Like squat thrust, like glute exercises? I'm like, why are you staying so hard at my butt in the picture? Well, the woman who took the picture, Steve, was at an angle where I could look dead at your butt, man. So, I mean, you were perched up right. I took that as a compliment. I'm like, gone, man. Gone.
Bo, did you send him some leg day routines to prepare for this event?
Nah, like he didn't tell me nothing about it.
Oh, that's right. Because we didn't know.
Yeah, I was surprised, At first he started, I should have known, because at first he started admitting that he had a girlfriend.
Right?
That he was seeing someone, and then, he used to get out the show early to go, he had
that's what that was, huh?
Oh, yeah. Man,
I should have had a clue that it was coming.
So Bo was already suspicious.
Yeah.
I should be suspicious too, because I see you started trimming up your beard a little bit. It used to be all raggedy.
You had this. Yeah, Stephen, you had this little Kimbo Slice thing going on, and then all of a sudden you're GQ. I was like, something going on.
I wasn't no Kimbo Slice, man. No goodness. No.
Yeah, brother. I mean, I was sitting at the house one night, and I had to find out through Bo, through his investigation, that you had a girlfriend. So, yeah, man, we need to talk about our communication lines. So yeah, we're all.
I'll tell you, Stephen, JT was the same way. He didn't cut his hair until his wedding day from the time out of high school.
That's not true.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, I started having to give him $20, $25. Man, just go get a cut, man. It ain't the money. I just don't feel like sitting in the chair.
Hey, just think, y'all. Wait till Steve Brown hears this.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
So George, well, what I said to Stephen M last night and JT, I want to include you. You hear that, Stephen M? Include them in the wedding crashing we're all going to collectively do come as wedding day. So it's going to be like Wedding Crashers meet The Hangover. So get ready. We're coming with it.
Hopefully we can find somebody that can tell us when the wedding gonna be, because Steve.
Oh, you know it's got to be on the internet somewhere.
And ladies and gentlemen, Stephen M. Smith is registered at Lens Crafters.
I thought he was registered. I thought he was registered at NASA so he can get some of them kind of lenses.
which, by the way, I gotta go pick up that NIL from Lens Crafters.
Amen. Well, I got a comment here in the chat, which kind of segues into our first topic. Jamie Wilhelm, Stephen, if you were Mississippi, you should have saved Eli Ricks. Gentlemen, apparently
he wasn't in my part of Mississippi. Now he wasn't in my part. I don't know where he was.
Doesn't matter. You were here. If you were traveling down the highway,
don't you live in Mississippi?
We're focusing on Stephen M, not me. We really should be Jackson. This is his territory where it happened. But if you're cruising down the interstate in Jones County, Mississippi, in a $40,000 2018 Mercedes-Benz, doing 90 and a 70, have a little bit of that, weed with you, and no insurance, chances are you may get in trouble. And so this gentleman was arrested this past weekend. So, fellas, first reaction, and we've seen different reactions on Twitter and Facebook, but since your opinion are the only ones that matter, I'll let y'all go ahead and fire off on this immediately. George, I'll let you start since you were the first one here.
All right. I want to know, is the car okay? I ain't really care. I'm the Benz. I'm trying to figure out how to get me one. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have
right.
That when I was in college or whatever. Shoot. But no, seriously, when it comes to this, you hate any time someone gets into any type of trouble or law type of stuff. I've been reading on what everyone's saying, but you know what? Nowadays, and I'm not trying to make light of it at all, but speeding. Which one of us ain't drove 90 miles an hour now or when we were young?
Or yesterday.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's another thing. And now today, today's the world, the way that marijuana is and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much he had. It wasn't like some of the other guys who got a whole 18-wheeler that I played with, or too many ounces of stuff. He probably had a little bit, whatnot. I think it's, kind of not minor, because you don't want people speeding and putting people in danger. But I'm not looking at this as something too serious to hurt him one way or the other. That's my thought.
Bo, your thoughts? The way I kind of look at it is, like George said, man, we've all been at that point where, we're in college, we're going to do stupid things. That's just how we figure out life, man. We're doing stuff, we're having fun. Sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't. But, what was your immediate reaction when you heard this?
My immediate reaction was, that's why I don't like going through the state of Mississippi. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Two states that I hate going to: Louisiana and Mississippi. And I got to drive through them two states to get to Alabama if I drive. You know what I mean? And if I'm coming through Mississippi, you know how they say you can do 5 miles over the speed limit? If it say 70, I'm doing 70 in Mississippi.
You know 69.
They gon' stop.
65.
They don't stop you. And I was like, man, I hate it for the kid, because Coach Saban gonna come up with some type of punishment.
What?
I don't know.
They ain't gonna do nothing, man. You're right though. Louisiana, man. I don't like driving through Louisiana more than Mississippi. I think they're out to get you in Louisiana for sure, all the time.
I think that from Mississippi. You know, what
I
I mean?
can agree to that.
You know, I don't like going through Mississippi because they gas things don't have the little clickers at the thing. You got to hold the gas thing the whole time. You can't go running. You need to catch up to the times, man. Get a little clicker on the gas tank so you can go and run inside real fast.
Well, JT, that brings it to you, man. What were your immediate thoughts when you found out the news?
Reading the headline at first, I was shocked. I was like, "Damn, how you going 90?" And then I thought about it. And I was like, "Well, you know, there've been plenty of times where I've been doing like 60 and a 45 because you just kind of driving with traffic and you look down and you're like, oh, I'm speeding.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, whoops, I'm going entirely way too fast. But I don't know. The only other thought that I had was like, if you know you have something in the car, or marijuana or not, you think you'd just be a little bit more careful. Like, you think you'd be trying to do everything possible,
yeah,
not to have
Right.
to get pulled over. So, I mean, I guess my assumption is he just has it on him all the time. So to him, it's no different of a day. But you know, I don't think. I think on the scale of things to be concerned about, this is probably on the low side. But he wasn't like inebriated or anything like that. It was just, and nobody got hurt. So I don't know if all's well that ends well is the right thing, but at least in this case, I don't think the punishment is going to be too severe. Probably just maybe a rather hefty fine. Maybe a license gets suspended for not having insurance.
Oh,
But-
I was about to say, dang, we're giving fines in college now with NIL now. Like, what's going on? How does that work?
yeah. In Mississippi, I will go ahead and say they are out to get you, especially if you don't have insurance. If they found out you don't have insurance, you immediately go to jail. They book you, you're done. So it's crazy. And then, of course, marijuana is not legal here yet either. So, but the main thing is, first of all, we are in that part of the season where there's not a lot of news out there. So all of a sudden they're going to throw something out there and to get people to click and to watch things and read things. So this is going to be on the forefront. But in the grand scheme of things, is it really a big deal? Like JT said, absolutely not. I mean, this is a kid who never really gets in trouble. First time offender, you know, kind of keeps to himself, does his talking on the field. The way I see it is, it's just really not that big of a deal. But it's fun.
Well, I mean, this is
Reaction.
not even the worst thing that somebody associated with Alabama has been arrested for
That
this
is true.
offseason.
Oh yeah.
That is true.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can remember when, wasn't that 09 when Brandon Dederick got shot in the arm and it ricocheted to his leg or something for an attempted robbery, and he still came back and played and won a championship. I mean, that was crazy.
Well, look at
He was talking
Raekwon.
about a coach being arrested for a DUI.
Oh, yeah.
That's much worse than.
Oh well,
And then
yeah, Pete Gold,
that.
right? Pete Gold. Right.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's
Pete Gold.
anybody that shouldn't be out here doing things that like that, it's a member of the staff.
Man, just go hang out. Bo, I don't know how y'all were or whatever. Just go hang out on frat row one night or whatever with the football team and the mother frat boys down there. There's always
Yeah.
some trouble going on down
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah. It's still going on.
That's what I'm saying, so I'm not really worried about that too.
Yeah.
Plus, this just goes into the book of Eli. You know,
Yeah, pretty
hopefully
much.
have some other stuff in there where it's going to be
Ooh.
shut down. Where he's going to be a shutdown guy. You know, we need it for him to be the type of
Way
player.
to way to segue the Book of Manning in here, George. Good job.
Comment from the audience from MFR Jones. Rumor was Marvin was the one that had Pete arrested.
Marvin.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He is absolutely right because Marvin is a hater.
I mean, hey, man.
If you want to see him go from 0 to crazy in 3 seconds, say Pete Golden, and then just
Hey, Pete
wait.
Golden.
You fired him back up, Justin. It's your fault because you fired him back up the other day when you put out the little piece about us when I had my comments about the defensive backs not playing well or whatever. He immediately shot off and started talking about me. And, oh, y'all agree with me now? No, that's not what I said.
Because it's Miami.
Hey man, we gotta poke the bear every now and then just to make him feel like he's special. But then too, man, it's also putting you on the pedestal, man. Gotta give you your props every now and then. So I mean that was for you too. But it's funny watching the reactions on Facebook. Everybody is condemning him and just outraged because of Eli Ricks'.
Your first mistake was reading things on Facebook.
Well, it's funny, but but then you go over to Twitter. Bama Twitter is going
Completely
crazy.
different.
They are celebrating because, like Stephen mentioned earlier, anytime something crazy has happened in the offseason, like you mentioned, Brandon Dederick, Raekwon Davis got shot and still played in the Florida State game, Hootie Jones, then Cam Robinson, and the list goes on. We win a national championship the same year it happened. So Bama Twitter is already celebrating that title because apparently when something goes down, there's drama. It equates to championships.
Yeah, they say we're back.
We're back. Literally, George, no joke. I saw like 30 fans with this post. Defensive coordinator arrested for DUI. Defensive backs taking gas station pics again. Bryce Young got an iced out grill, and now Eli Ricks arrested. Sew that natty up. We back.
And we're gonna drop a rap album, man. I'm telling you.
and then right next to the post of that, there's a picture of Reuben Foster smoking a Newport. Right? Reuben smoking a Newport, man. Oh, man. Oh.
So yeah, there's our little drama that is appeasing the fans for the moment, gives them something to talk about. But we have something else to talk about. This past weekend was the NFL draft. I think all of us at one point contacted each other. You had a special. If you would, tell us a little bit about that before we kind of jump into things.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what you said.
He's too busy on his food. I was saying you had a draft special, a little show you were part of this past week.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you that. That was so I've partnered with Millions.co, and they gave me the opportunity to be able to do a free watch party. So I was sitting here just watching the draft and being able to interact. So something outside of Teague's Take, the podcast that me and JT do. But it was just a time to be able to watch the draft, drink some beer, eat some wings, and all that kind of stuff. I've already talked about it. And I have to tell you, man, that draft day, that was the biggest soap opera I think I've seen ever in the history of
20 trades in the first
20.
round.
I don't know if that's the record or not, but I know I was just like baffled, what was happening. It was kind of cool. It was entertaining, but I did have a good time on that. We'll probably do some more of that again. I didn't really know how it was going to work. JT and I have talked about maybe doing some other shows like that. Now that I know how it works, we'll probably do more things like that.
Cool. Well, before we kind of jump into the draft itself, I want y'all to kind of take a step back and for the audience, kind of, Bo, you and George, if you would, kind of give them a perspective on the whole process as far as leading up to the draft, the prep, the combine, pro day, and the draft itself. Kind of guide us through that and what y'all typically went through. Bo, I'll let you start since George started last time.
It's some crazy thing, crazy questions. Asked, like the question that Cleveland asked me was, the sky. Since the sky is blue, does that mean God was an Auburn fan? And I'm like, no sir, roll tide. Having so many meetings and being interviewed by so many teams, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it was pretty easy for me. Especially coming from Alabama, I was, used to like being in that, situation and, talking around a lot of people and being able to tell them a little bit about me. And, when you go to the combine, they looking for every reason not to draft you, and uh, you go through all these doctors and they doing the same thing, checking the same body parts, and you being tugged on by 40 different doctors at one time, and you sit in the room and they read out your medical history to 32 teams, like, and you just sitting there in your compression shorts or whatever, and and it was a good experience for me from where I came from, from Utah, Alabama. Something that, we dreamed of doing and, that we watched on TV a lot, and to be a part of it, it was something special. But at the same time, it was business. So, but my time, through the draft process and leading up to getting drafted it was pretty nice. I have made a couple dollars, on a couple signings, and I had a couple appearances, so it was fun. I made fun out of it. I didn't, let it overwhelm me and be so what you want to call it, discouraged or whatever. But I just took it and had fun with it.
George, what about you, man? Where was your stress level? What was it like for you to go through it? I'm sure it wasn't much different from Bo.
Well, no, but first I want to say when people hear Utah, Alabama, they need to know that does not start with a U, by the way.
Right. Let's start with an E.
Start with an E, so whatever. That's how they breed football players down there, because it's a little bit different down there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It doesn't even have an H in it, does it? Like, isn't it like EUTAW, like just
Right.
the most country thing ever?
Yeah, I was about to say the most redneck way you could possibly spell it.
Hey.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're from small town, something I'm sure too. But anyway, hey man, shoot. So, for me it was stressful, but I had a kind of different kind of. Well, I guess it would be similar like the Bo, because I wasn't expecting to be a high round draft pick. I was thinking I was going to be a third round, fourth round draft pick. So I was actually took a calculated risk by not running. Seems a little backwards, right? But I did not run at the combine at all. I decided I wanted to wait to my pro day to get really ready, because playing in the national championship, and I was a little bit banged up, and I played in 2 bowl games, the Japan Bowl and the Senior Bowl, so I was still a little bit sore and trying to get around to the to be ready for the combine. I knew I wasn't going to be ready, but Bo kind of hit it on the head, and it's kind of funny to me that you talking about them doctors trying to find a way not to draft you, man. When I was saying I was kind of hurt in my ankle, I felt like they knew it, because the way they was digging in there and trying to make me jump or scream or whatever it was. That's when I learned that I should have been and went into acting a little bit, because I kept the straightest face that I could, even though it hurt like hell while they were messing around in there. But I had Copeland and Curry on my team, and I knew all 32 teams were going to be at our pro day. So that's all I had focused on, was trying to get my 40 right and all my DB stuff. And so I started working the track coach and getting rehab and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I kind of went, for me to at least get prepared and put myself into that. And I know my pro day, well the last few games that I had, both the bowl game, the national championship, and the 2 all-star games that I went to, and then my pro day, I think this all moved me up in the draft rankings to help me to the first round.
That's what's up. Well, JT, I'll let you start off, as far as what your overall thoughts were, regarding the Alabama players in the draft. Out of the guys that were drafted, who stuck out to you the most, and who you feel like landed in the best situation?
Who landed in the best situation? Yikes! I wasn't ready for that one. I was kind of
my
thinking
bad.
about the guys who I was kind of disappointed on the teams they went to.
Okay, we can start with that. We can come back to that if you want to. Yeah, go ahead and start with that.
Yeah, well, I was really disappointed in Jameson going to the Lions because, like, honestly, who the hell wants to play? Who wants to go to the Lions?
Well, Bo did. Bo did.
Yeah, but did you want to? Like,
He
if
just
you
wanted
could,
to play.
now I understand, like, you wanted to play.
Okay,
but if
so
you had to rank your teams, how low would the Lions have been on your list?
oh, they wouldn't have been low. Listen, because I like the Matt Patricia. You know what I'm saying? I like what he had going on in Detroit. It's just that people weren't understanding what he was asking for. You know what I mean? Like, we had some of the best players. You know, we had Matthew Stafford with Marvin Jones and, you know what I'm saying, Kenny Galladay. Then we brought in Collins at line. We had a good team. Not saying that it was a Super Bowl team, but it was a good team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Okay, but
like.
okay, so but now you don't have Matthew Stafford. You have Jared Goff. I think Dan Campbell's probably a good coach. I think people want to play for him. But that Lions team that you went to is not the Lions that they got now. And I think as a receiver of all of the other quarterbacks and all the other situations that you could possibly go to, I think, to me, at least just as an outsider, the Lions seem like low on the list. Like, I would there are many other teams that needed receivers that, I mean, even the Cardinals, for instance. Like, I would
The Cardinals are they got Brown. They
didn't have to though. Like, they could have drafted. You know, you don't have to go get Hollywood Brown over
Green Bay Packers.
It's too late.
Yeah. Well, you know, Green Bay wasn't gonna draft a receiver until it was too late anyway. That's just how it goes. But I also Christian Harris, you know, is just the Texans are a dumpster fire right now. I really hope Lovey can do something about it, but they've just got too many problems that I think, like, as a rookie you would want to be somewhere more stable. That's why, same thing with Trevor Lawrence. I was like, man, look, Urban and this whole thing, kicking players, apparently dogging his staff. Like, there's just better places for you to land.
Yeah, you kind of look at it, you're like, well, first of all, why is he being punished? That was my immediate thought. But, I mean, there are some pieces there. DJ Shark's there. Amon-Ra St. Brown's there. DeAndre Swift's there. But let's look at the scale of quarterbacks. Is Jared Goff really that guy to really stretch the field and put Jameson in the best
somebody
position?
on this show thought he was at one point, and I was trying to tell him that he wasn't, but I won't name any names. But somebody thought that the Lions were going to be better after trading Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff, and I don't think that was right.
Yeah, true that.
All right.
True that.
Quick question for Bo. Bo, what were your thoughts on an NFL team you were hoping to play for and trades down before your choice? Like, what were you hoping to kind of go before your landing spot, starting with Dallas?
Well, it wasn't too much of me hoping to go to a team. It was just that, you know, I was in contact with the Panthers and the 49ers the most, you know, especially the Panthers. I was talking to the Panthers every day, you know, and no contact with the Cowboys whatsoever. You know what I mean? The only thing I did with the Cowboys was filled out the little sheet that every team give you to fill out. You know, that was the only thing that I did for the Cowboys. Never had a conversation with no one over there. Didn't have an interview with them. Didn't have a workout with them. You know, and they picked me, but it wasn't so much of me hoping, but I just thought I would go to the Panthers or the 49ers because I was in contact with them two the most.
Well, George, I'll turn it over to you. I'll ask you the same question I asked JT. Who do you feel like found themselves in the best situation, or if you want to go his route, maybe the worst situation?
Man, there's so much I got to think about all of this stuff because I'm with JT on one sense. I don't think anybody landed in a good spot other than maybe Davis, just because he found his way to the Ravens. But even Evan Neal going to the Giants, man. Detroit, Houston, Commanders. Good Lord, I mean, those are tough for me to swallow with that. So if you had to make me pick a team that I thought was going to be good for somebody, it might be Jalen Open Davis. I think it would just be, a better fit. I know they traded all this their guy away and all that, but I just think that's a solid organization. Oz Newsome and all, they always figure a way to make things right. So I think that's good. I do agree with JT with the Jameson Williams. I got a different piece with Jameson Williams, so if I can say this. I was a little bit disappointed in him with his little the talk that they had when they interviewed him after he got picked. It just seemed like there wasn't any excitement. Maybe he was thinking like JT, like, well, man, damn, they traded up here to come get me. I got to go to Detroit. Good Lord. Because there wasn't very much enthusiasm at all. You would think that
think, George, what enthusiasm like? Barry Sanders retired early. Calvin
That's
Johnson retired
exactly
early.
what I was saying.
I mean,
it's like you had a Hall of Fame
Stafford,
receiver that was like, I don't want to be here no more.
After 13 years, Matthew Stafford goes, get me out. Just let me go. Let me go. Who would want to go there? Who really would want to go to Motown? Like, in J-Mo's mind, he's thinking Eagles, Philadelphia. Y'all told me y'all gonna get me at 13, and then you gonna trade for A.J. Brown, and I gotta go to Detroit?
Yeah, Calvin Johnson decided to get upgraded to Dancing with the Stars, so he got out of town. I completely understand where you're coming from there. Here's something that really stuck out in my mind this past weekend. Two teams, the Raiders and the Patriots, and it does relate to Alabama guys. One, not to take anything away from Zamir White, the Raiders drafted Zamir White, and apparently they are bringing him in to maybe be the replacement for Josh Jacobs, because it was said throughout the whole weekend the Raiders organization do not want to pick up any of the fifth-year options for their players from the previous regime, like they were the problem. I know Josh Jacobs was not the problem. He was one of the main reasons why the offense had any success besides David Carr. So what does this mean for him? And then what does this mean for Kenyon Drake? And then the other side of things, you look at the New England Patriots. Damian Harris had a really good year last year. I think he's one of the leaders in touchdowns last year. But what they do, they got Pierre Strong out of North Dakota State. Solid back. I watched him play in the playoffs. Dude's a beast. But they also got Kevin Harris out of South Carolina. So with these pickups in the draft, what does it mean for our Alabama guys?
We got inconsistency with our guys. I mean, in a nutshell, I'll let JT answer, but I just think we got inconsistency with all the former Alabama players. Go ahead, JT.
Well, I was going to say with the Patriots, they run running back by committee anyway, so that's I don't think that's anything new. I was a little perplexed with Josh Jacobs and not having a fifth-year option, but I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to have a problem finding work to do. I think there'll be plenty of teams that'll be happy to pick up Josh Jacobs. I mean, maybe he just goes over to the 49ers since they got a lot of backs that they rotate through, and apparently Debo don't want to be there, which as far as I'm concerned is one of their running backs. Anyway, Seattle needs some backs. I mean, there's places for him to go, and I think Damian Harris will probably just have to get used to rotating anyway, which I mean he did at Alabama. So I mean it's just the organization he's in. That's how they do things. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. We can't hear you, Justin.
Stephen M., what are your immediate thoughts when you saw that?
I mean, for the Raiders, it was just weird because Josh Jacobs, two-time 1,000-yard back. I know he had little bit over 800 yards last year and 9 touchdowns. He still was 9th in the league in touchdowns, and takes a lot of pressure off of Derek Carr. But kind of like what JT mentioned, if they don't take the fifth, if Josh goes elsewhere, you do have Seattle, you do have San Francisco. I mean, you have there's several teams that can use a back. I mean, even down to the Vikings, because with Cook with Cook back there in the backfield, you know, sometimes he's good to go, and sometimes he gets banged up a little bit. So you still have Dalvin Cook you can spare for a little bit. Even down to the Buccaneers, they hang on to Leonard Fournette.
Add the Cowboys in there. Add the Cowboys in there too, because
Cowboys also.
True.
Well, they need a line first.
Well, we're talking about that tomorrow night on what we're doing with that, but you know, I don't know. I think Josh. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a tremendous asset to the Raiders program. There's some other things that I think that, you know, the Raiders would have to fix and make that work. I don't know if they're worried about injuries. If it's really just, hey, new regime, we don't want to sign anybody. That's kind of stupid to me. I think they all should know how to evaluate talent if they're looking at people and know if we need them or not. It's not college where you're just trying to bring in your own guys necessarily. You're trying to bring in another guys. And he is definitely one of those guys. So, you know, Damian Harris. You know, I think there was just a small that running back committee deal. It kind of hurts these guys a little bit. I think. I know it's kind of the way the game is kind of moving to, where there's not necessarily a feature back with most teams, and I think that hurts people's value a little bit because they feel like, hey, they can maybe pay someone less, a younger guy that can come in and take those 20, you know, reps, 20, 25 reps that they might get. I don't know. I don't know how Bo thinks about that. It's just the running back position is just different. You used to have a bell cow everywhere, but that's not the case anymore.
What are your thoughts on that, Bo?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, those guys, like you said, I mean, even who would it be? Other Najee, maybe be a bell cow.
Derek
Henry. Okay, but you know, they're offensive teams. Everybody else is not like. I mean, the other teams are really spread and, you know, throwing the ball around a little bit. The teams that won it or at the final stages of the playoffs, I think most of them had dual backs.
Yeah, I mean, they had at least 2 good ones. I mean, Kansas City does have a lead back in Edwards-Helaire, but I don't even remember who the backup is. But they had a decent backup.
Derek Gore.
And I mean, even the Titans, they went and picked up Devonta Freeman, who was looking pretty good too. So I mean,
he's still alive.
Well, judging by one of these go ahead, George.
No. I was just saying he's right. When you think about the Bills, they had whoever. They ran the ball better this year. They ran the ball better this year, but they're still not a running team. You know, so I don't know. I think he's going to be fine. Both of them will be fine regardless. I don't think they'll be hurt. I think they'll end up getting their money for the next deal.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, judging by one of these comments, it kind of helps me segue into the next portion of the show. Spencer, the CTS Sports Room, asks, what did y'all think about Slade Bolden? So let's talk about the undrafted free agents. Which one of those guys do y'all look at and say, you know what, you probably needed a little bit more work, you made kind of a bad decision? And what are some of those guys do you feel like may be a surprise?
I'd tell you the surprise is going to be Chris Allen.
Yeah.
I think he's the dark horse, the steal.
Mm-hmm. And he went to a good place.
He did. So he's going to have a lot.
Where did he go again?
Denver.
Broncos.
Denver. They got a chance. And, you know, if he wouldn't have been hurt, I guess, or whatever, he probably been a better pick or a higher pick, draft pick for that. So I think he's the one that the Broncos are gonna get a steal from it. The one that's gonna need some work, in my opinion, Josh Jobe. Man, y'all know how I felt about him last year. Just playing. I know he's supposed to be a high draft pick, and we can blame it on a turf toe or whatever they're calling it or whatnot. But I think the way he played last year, trying to transition that way into the pros, man, good Lord. I think he's going to see that right in spring, right? We won't see it until they start showing training camp. But I think he's going to struggle early, especially with them dudes they just brought in. A.J. Brown and them other guys. Good Lord. He's going to struggle.
Stephen S. Smith, I ask you the question. Slade Bolden, he's rejoining Jalen Armour-Davis. What are your thoughts on him leaving early and then, landing where he landed? I honestly think, as a Ravens fan, got my purple sunglasses on, I'm excited to have him there. I think he'd be a great fit. I think John Harbaugh will find things for him to do. But what are your thoughts on Slade Bolden?
Personally, I would have liked to have seen back for 1 year of some slight more polish there. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Slade was thinking, well, you've got Tyler Harrell in here as a transfer. You got Christian Leary in here. You got other guys in here that's going to be way more talented physically than what I am. And when you look at the fit that he got to with Baltimore, John Harbaugh is a special teams coach to the heart of him. So Slade's going to be returning kids. He's going to be returning punts. He'll find different things for Slade, jet sweep type things. He'll still play wide receiver. He'll do some wildcat quarterback type stuff. So John Harbaugh will implement him highly into the system because he can do a lot of things. I just want to see Slade get a bit more polish to his game, but at the same time with other guys in here that are probably way more gifted than he is, I can see why he left.
Let me challenge you with that, because it sounds like you're almost talking out of both sides of your mouth a little bit when you say you start with, hey, there's guys that are going to be a little bit more talented than him at Alabama. Why are we just going to assume that he's going to be better than when he gets in the league? Because those dudes are going to be better than him too. I mean, if we're using that logic, hey, okay, yeah, he's got to work his way into it. But, man, if you can't be the best on your doggone team, you're talking the crop gets smaller when you get to the National Football League. Them dudes can run, they can catch, they're already polished.
Okay. So what I was saying was in Alabama, Saban's getting more so into getting those speed burner receivers, those guys running 4.1, 4.2s, 4.3s, so that type of speed right there. Slade's not a speed guy. And while still he can catch, third down pass, possession guy, run the right route, catch the ball, make a play when he can make a play, we're moving to a space in college football and pro football where, hey, baby, we want this instant offense. Take this 5-yard pass, boom, go 95 yards for touchdown. Take this 10-yard slant, boom, 90-yard touchdown. It's moving to instant offense college, instant offense NFL. And Slade doesn't have that type of get up and go in that. So that's what I was saying.
Okay. So who are you going to equate him to? Like a Vontae Parker, or what's the guy's name that used to play for the Dolphins that ain't there no more? Or,
like a Welker type.
Nope. Brian Hartline.
Brian Hartline.
Hartline? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was about to say Wayne Crabette from the Jets, but nah.
Oh.
I mean, I think that's that's probably apt. I think Wes Welker is too Wes Welker is above his ceiling.
Yeah.
I agree. Slade might have left early, but I think I think this is one of the rare instances where if he stays, it hurts him more. Like, I understand he didn't get drafted now anyway, but if your senior year or your last year, you end up getting buried in the depth chart, that doesn't look good at all.
No.
So I do think that Baltimore is probably a good fit for him because, Baltimore doesn't utilize receivers like that anyway. So, if there's any place for a utility receiver to go, I think it's Baltimore.
I
Or
thought you were
Green
New
Bay, I
Orleans.
guess.
I thought you were going to say New Orleans for me.
Frank agrees with the majority of y'all here. The comparison to Welker is a total joke. Welker was a two-time 1,000-yard receiver and all-time punt returner in yardage and touchdowns. So
he's right. And I was waiting for my moment to be able to say that, Frank. I appreciate you. That is not, not that I'm not hating on anybody because everybody needs their chance and their shot. Got to go prove what they can do and all that kind of stuff. But man, I just know, that level. There are possession receivers, but you still have to. Man, if you can't run away from Micah Parsons and these guys down, these linebackers, even if you're in the slot or whatnot, and you can't create any separation.
Freak though.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
They're all freaks in the league.
Let me ask you this. If you could have Slade Bolden or Hunter Renfrow, which one would you take?
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, both.
I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's close at all.
Yeah, both
Hunter Renfrow is
personal.
just always open. Somehow he's always open. And I don't know that Slade is that dude.
Ask Tony Brown. He knows.
You had to bring Tony Brown in.
Look, man. My man
He lied to him. That's what happened. He lied.
My man Tony lived his best life, man. Tony live, man.
Plow Jogger says, don't count Slade out in the NFL. All the criticism he got from Bama fans did not stop him from making clutch receptions. The question is whether he can keep that NFL. I do want to kind of ask a question that's kind of surrounding this, and Bo and George, I'd like y'all to kind of weigh in on this. How far behind the 8 ball are the late rounders, undrafted free agents? Bo, I'll let you start.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, man, if you would.
It's an uphill battle, man. I mean, you got to grind to be able to do that because you know any of the draft picks are already going to, whether they're better than them or not, kind of get the nod early, and then you really got to compete and show how you can be a little bit better. It's kind of like being a walk-on. You might be better than some of them guys, but it's just a different battle. You're in a different locker room. You're in a different part of the locker room. You got to, it's just all different. And so they got to be really, really focused if you're going to try to make – because now you're not trying to solidify a starting position or even a backup position. You're trying to make the team when you're undrafted. Am I going to be a practice squad player? The mindset is totally, totally different. Now, there's plenty of success stories where guys will come in undrafted and they've done whatever. But you're behind the ball because you don't – Bo, maybe you know more about this. I'm probably more tuned to it now since I've been doing a lot of the internships, the fellowships with the NFL. Those guys don't even get the same amount of reps than the other guys get.
Right.
So you have less opportunity to really show what you have. So then 3 or 4 reps or 1 or 2 reps that you're going to get, you better make the best of them. And when you're on the scout team running those, you got to find a way to make something shine. You can't half-ass it. So it is it's tough, in my opinion.
I kind of equate it to like the guy coming from AAA to the major leagues in baseball, where you're coming from AAA, you better be hitting 300 on your first day, because if you ain't hitting 300, or if you ain't at least knocking some out the park or a double or getting the manager to look at you doing something out there in the outfield or the infield, they send you back to AAA ball fast.
That's true. That is 100% true.
Well, Bo, if you would, man, weigh in on that. I'd love to hear what you're on it.
Yeah, like I agree with he said. Yeah, you behind the ball, especially if you go undrafted. You may get 1 or 2 reps during practice. You know what I mean? Because I was drafted in the 7th round, and it was Zeke. Then it was Zeke, then Rod. But then they would switch it out every day. But we was the main 3 that were getting most of the reps, and we had two guys that were undrafted, and they would get 1 rep apiece, and it would be right back to us. You know what I mean? Like he said, they may get 1 or 2 reps, if that. But the thing that they're gonna have to do is, but they gonna play for sure in their preseason though. And they just better know their playbook when it come around. And I think that's where you can make the most impression at, when you haven't been getting that many reps in whatever play they call. You know what you're doing. It's called being a pro. Like you're not gonna rep every play and then get in the game and coach. You know what I mean? Gonna call it. That's why you got to know all the plays, study the playbook, know what you're doing. And I think you'll be all right, especially if you're an undrafted free agent guy. If you can go in there and show them that you can pick up that playbook pretty quick, they can consider putting you on practice squad, or maybe even make the 53, depending on how you know that playbook.
That's a good word, brother. That is a damn good word. Thanks for clarifying that, because most people don't really know the amount of reps they don't get. And then you got to jump into that game, and especially the first or whatever, and you playing 3 quarters.
Exactly.
You
got to be ready.
They got to be ready. You can't be busting, because then they're going to go back and they're going to have that meeting the next day, the coaching staff, and they're not saying, well, he only had 8 reps, so he's entitled to more mistakes. No, not really. So my advice to Slade is there's been some people on here talking already and thinking and reading. He's going to have to prove himself on special teams immediately in practice. He got to bust his ass, wherever they're going to put him, gunner, hold-up guy, whatever they got him on, punt or kickoff. That's how guys make the team, and then ultimately get their shot of, making it as a wide receiver. But he's got to bust his ass on special teams from day one.
Well, before we kind of close it down, I'm going to put Stephen M. Smith and JT on the witness stand. If you guys had to pick any of these guys from this draft class to be the possible rookie of the year, who would it be? JT, I'll start with you.
Man, what?
You talking about any of these Alabama guys to be rookie of the year?
Yeah, if you had to pick one of these guys, who's in the best position to possibly get that?
Only one.
Yeah, I mean, Jameson is the only one that's got rookie of the year
But
talent.
what about Brian Robinson?
Thank you.
Brian Robinson is still behind Antonio Gibson. That is their back. He's gonna be the backup. He's not getting. Brian Robinson ain't running for 1,000 yards this year. That's just the reality of the situation.
But hey, we're gonna see.
Hey, I would love for him to run for 1,000 yards, but
I'm not saying that
he still plays for the Commies, and Jameson still plays for the Lions.
You know what?
Man, no, bro. I mean, I'm 100% with JT on this one. We ain't always see it the same, but it has to be Jameson. I think Brian. Man, and it's not my disdain for not liking the Redskins either. I just think they got issues over there. They about to lose the other wide receiver. Have they lost McLaren yet?
Scary Terry?
Yeah, Scary Terry.
I don't think so. I think he's still there.
I mean, do they got a quarterback?
Carson Wentz, if you consider that a quarterback.
That's a no. That's a no.
They're gonna load up on the box.
They got Sam. They got Sam Howell. They got Sam Howell in the draft.
Oh yeah, he slipped.
Sam Howell.
Man,
I just don't. I think if Brian Robinson played somewhere else, he'd have a shot. If he played in San Francisco, he might. That would be kind of nice.
Well, here's my pick, John Mechie.
oh,
Interesting.
John Mechie.
Why is that? Do you have confidence in Davis Mills?
I actually do.
more than Jerry Goff.
I actually have confidence in Davis Mills.
See,
Weirdly enough,
this how we know that you engaged now, because you talking crazy than a song gun over here.
hey, Davis Mills wasn't too bad last year. He wasn't too bad.
Hey,
Hey, Justin.
What's up?
I just realized that you be standing up the whole time. I thought you been sitting in the seat. I didn't realize.
No, man.
Until I saw your picture on Facebook this past week.
Hey. Yeah, appreciate that. Yes, I'm the king of Mississippi, and when I stand beside guys like Kevin Jackson, it definitely is brought to the forefront. And since we had to pay Stephen M. Smith the majority of the money on the Bama Standard, I don't get to have chairs.
What? Hold on now. I thought we renegotiated this. I don't get paid no money.
That's why Justin's so good at them deadlifts, because he's short. He can stand there.
he ain't got to go that far.
Right.
Why can't y'all just let me be great and say, man, you throwing some weight, son? I'm trying to compete against Bo over here. Y'all ain't going to let me be great. That's cool. I mean, I don't even have to have Marvin on here to get insulted. That's all right.
You always throwing shade yourself, brother. You're always throwing shade.
Absolutely. Before we wind things down, I want to remind everybody, if you are in the Atlanta area, contact our guy, Cyrus Jones, Atlanta Luxury Real Estate. If you need a home, go with Bama Sci-Fi. His number is right here on the screen. And fencing needs, whether it's commercial or residential. Another Bama guy, DJ Petway, support these two guys. Numbers on the screen. And also, too, Kerry Good was on our show a few weeks back. If you'd like to help in his fight against ALS, please go visit his website and help contribute to the Good Foundation. That's www.goodfoundation.org. George, JT, thank you so much for being on our show. We always love to have you guys on. If you would, man, tell the audience what's up next for Teague's Take, and then also how folks can find you on social media.
JT, you taking it?
Sure. We got a show tomorrow night. We're gonna have Bobby Belt and Clarence Hill on tomorrow. I believe we're gonna be talking about the draft in general, but maybe some of our thoughts on the Cowboys draft class. I have strong opinions, but I will try to make them not so strong just to hedge my bets, because you never know how draft classes are actually going to end up turning out. We're still every other week for now, but as things start to wrap up, we'll be going every week again. You can find him over here at Teague Football, and you can find me at BamaJ13. I don't tweet much, so if you want to follow, that's great. But every now and then, every month or two, you might get one or two hot takes, and then me responding to Justin's questions about dumb things like should Alabama have alternate uniforms or an alternate helmet? And
hey, man, that was a good question.
Not really.
Hey, nobody asked you. I don't know who runs their mouth more, you or Langham. Anyway, Bo, before I forget, man, tell us what happened at your high school a few weeks back, man. You gave a speech. They did a little something for you. If you would, kind of take this to talk about that, because I want to make sure, you get recognized for it.
Well, technically, it's not my high school. It's just the high school where I grew up at from my hometown. And I just went back to share a little bit of my experience of the after high school and after college life, and the things that that life gonna hit you when you get out of college that no one tells you about in high school or while you're in college, about all these bills that you're gonna have to pay and I wanted them to think different. Start thinking about things in a different way. Like, how could you be a better person and a better child to your parents and a better student athlete? Because when you go through these things, you have to have these different personality. Because when you go home, you have to be a son or a daughter to your parents, and when you at football practice or basketball practice, you have to be an athlete, and when you in school, you have to be a student, and you have to be these different things, and you got to know how to handle it, and I just told them about my experience of life, and like the things that what happened today doesn't matter tomorrow because you can't get the time back that you done lost. So, like I told them that the world is a playground. The world is full of winners and losers, and then we just on the playground, and you just can't get stuck on that merry-go-round because that's what people tend to do when they get stuck on that. When they tend to fail, they tend to be stuck for a day, and that day turn into a week, and that week turn into a month, and that month turn into a year, and now you lost in life, and you don't actually know what you really want to do or what you're really good at. So you have to start trying to find your gift now, because everybody not going to play basketball and everybody not going to play football, and you can't be stuck on that sport, and you got to use your gift that God had given you in His Word, because every job going get open. Like, you can't play. Like, I look at football, it's not it's not a career because you can't play it till you're 70. Like, you only can play it for so many years, and your body can only hold up. But you can be a doctor or whatever for however many years you want to be, or you can be a bus driver for however many years you want to be, and you just have to be great at doing it. You have to be one of the best at doing it. The same energy that you put into sport, you can put that energy into the gift that God had given you. And like, I'm not going to force my kid to play any sport, but whatever he do, he gonna be the best at doing it. He gonna be competitive because that's the way how my family gonna be built. And that just a message that I told them, man. I hope that they, really took it in and really absorbed it and really took it to heart or whatever. And maybe they can learn from what I experienced, or, maybe they can start thinking different or whatever.
Man,
Wow.
Bo, when you said that day turned into a week turned into a month turned into a year, I was like, this is a full-fledged rap song right here, man. It's a full-fledged verse.
Yeah, but that
Man,
would
he's
tend
right.
to really happen, and
Right.
we overlook that because it's something that it tears us up in the inside, but we don't know how to get over it in so many ways. Like, you can say that you doing this and doing that, but in the back of your head, you still got what's on your mind that you maybe didn't failed and that you can't get out of. But it's just something to think about, to be different, because we tend to be stuck on things that happened yesterday, and not move forward on what's going on today.
Wow, that's powerful. I'm glad that you spoke on that, man. You're absolutely right. It's definitely a message that does not get preached near enough, and the younger generation it really needs to hear more of that. And you're absolutely right, man. The past can be an absolute anchor, and can prevent you from getting to your future, and along with that, depression. But yeah, that's something we can definitely talk more about. But yeah, man, thanks for speaking on that. That's definitely awesome to hear.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well, guys, great show. Enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all again soon. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Good time.
JT!